Fans! You're a fan, I'm a fan is a fan. I'm not talking about one of those things that blows cold air into your face. I'm talking about a fan in the sense of somebody who has a lot of admiration for one thing. What the hell am I even talking about? But yes, we're all fans, and because we're all fans, we're crucial when it comes to a live pro wrestling event. I mean, think about when you go to one of these and the audience doesn't seem to care, doesn't make any noise, ruins it, takes away the magic. But when people go crazy for everything, it's more exciting, it's more believable, it's just better. There is a flip side to this though, and it's when these said fans kinda take over the show for themselves and start chanting things that have absolutely nothing to do with the story, and that in turn completely breaks your suspension of disbelief. Like when they start chanting CM Punk, even though in the ring is a segment with Triple H, Mick Foley. So in short, this has to stop. Why? Here's why. Now, first and foremost, you paid your hard-earned money for a ticket and therefore should be able to go to a show and shout and chant whatever you want. And that's true. You should be able to do that, and regardless what I'm about to say, I hope you do continue to go out there and do just that. But that doesn't mean that everything that is yelled out is necessarily contributing to the entertainment side of things. The biggest one at the moment, of course, is CM Punk. And as I said on Ups and Downs the other day, I love CM Punk. I genuinely think he's an inspiration. He goes out there and he lives his dream, and he lives for no regrets. Now, some person came up to me and said, how can he be an inspiration when he got beaten so quickly? But that's the point. He could have just said, no, I'm not doing that, but he didn't. He put himself in front of the line. He put himself in danger, and he can never regret that because he did it. And that's a lesson you should take away today. Dare to fail. Which in short means just do things, and even if you don't succeed, it doesn't matter because you tried. But this isn't about the man, this is about the chant. And to be fair, yes, on some occasions it can be quite funny, especially when a crowd does it in Chicago, which if you don't know is CM Punk's hometown. It's become a thing when you start to think to yourself, I wonder how WWE will counter that, and to their credit so far, they've countered it very well and stopped that chant dead in its tracks. When they pop up out of nowhere though, as they did the other day on Raw, it's like being shot in the face. Bam! Slaps you right out of the moment. Makes you realise you're watching pro wrestling like that. I get that you may not like what's going on, but if someone else does and all of a sudden they just hear some person's name being shouted into their face, well, it can be a bit annoying to be honest. And it can faze the people in the ring too. Most pro wrestlers have trained themselves to kind of listen and hear out the crowd, and then when the time is right, react accordingly. But by the time that chant has started and got into a wrestler's ear, and then he or she goes, wait a minute, I can't actually react to that because it's definitely something I'm not supposed to react to, the whole thing becomes awkward and the whole thing becomes frustrating, and me as a viewer, I'm sat there like, ooh, I may turn this off because this isn't fun for anybody. You're dragged out of the moment and you're hurled back into reality, and believe you me, when I'm watching the WWE, I don't want to be a part of reality, I want to be in a dream world where all my problems just float away. I mean, it doesn't happen, because that's not realistic, but that's the dream. But that's not cool, that's not fun, and it's literally upending the show just because someone finds it funny, or because someone thinks, you know what, I am going to be a deliberate distraction. And have a think about it. When is a deliberate distraction any good for anybody? It makes me really sad to think about it too. In few other sports or forms of entertainment are the fans so important. So to take that responsibility and just throw it in the bin like it's an old sandwich, tears, man. Real tears. It goes further than this too. While not as jarring, we all have our opinions on the "this is awesome" or "you deserve it" chants. We hear them almost nightly, and therein lies the problem. If we're going to sing "this is awesome" on every single wrestling match on every single night of the year, then all of a sudden, nothing is awesome anymore. It's the boy who cried wolf syndrome. If you do something too much, it soon results in diminishing returns. And when you start diminishing those returns, then it doesn't mean anything anymore. So you're chanting "this is awesome," but you also chanted "this is awesome" in the last match. So you're like, is any of this awesome? Or is nothing awesome? Or are we just blurting stuff out because we think we should? It even happens when there's just one good move. So the match itself can be a bit average, but there's an amazing move and people are like, oh, this is awesome. Why don't we just chant "good move"? I mean, that doesn't have the same ring to it, but still. As for "you deserve it," that is a whole other kettle of fish. Depending on how you look at pro wrestling as well, that That actually doesn't make any sense. If Kevin Owens wins the Universal title, he won that title because he's the best, or he is the best in terms of what the show is trying to get across to us, or what kayfabe is all about. If we're saying he deserves it, then we're outwardly acknowledging that none of this is real, and he does deserve it because of all the hard work he's put in over the years. And that's true. He does deserve it, and probably deserves to hear it. But when you take a step back from it and actually look at it for what it is, start scratching your head. It doesn't actually add to anything we're seeing. It's almost like we're not part of the show anymore. We're kind of outside of the show and we're looking in, and you've got these two worlds, one of the make-believe and one of reality, and we're trying to push them together, but the guy in the ring can't acknowledge one of them, and I've just run out of words because it's so confusing. It also suffers from the same problem in the sense that it is said too much. One day, a janitor is going to walk in the ring and 15,000 people are going to start shouting out, "You deserve it." Apparently everyone deserves it. Maybe I deserve it. I definitely don't, but at this point, it could become true. Ultimately, it comes down to how you see yourself as a fan, or what responsibilities you believe a fan should have, and there's no right or wrong here. You go to Raw, SmackDown, or any number of events to have fun, and nothing should stop you from doing that. That's the whole point. If you're not having fun, then you shouldn't be going in the first place. Well, as long as whatever you're doing is legal. If you're doing illegal things at these shows, stop it right now. The cops are going to be on your ass quicker than rice. Quicker than rice? But fans do have an important part to play, and if that veers off course, it does have an effect, especially if you're a new viewer of the product and all of a sudden somebody's chanting CM Punk. You're like, who the hell is CM Punk? It doesn't relate to anything I'm seeing with my own eyes. And it's not going to stop anytime soon, even though it can derail the momentum, because it's like the What chant. Remember how massive the What chant used to be? It was so big, we still kind of get What chants today, although in many ways, the What chants have actually been replaced with CM Punk chants. CM Punk is the new What, and good grief, is that weird? But soon another one will come along, and we'll all go to that one instead. Sometimes, maybe it does make sense to take a moment and go, what would serve the product better? I know you don't agree, but it's just an opinion. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of this, and then like, share and subscribe. Then go to WhatCulture.com and read more articles on the website, and you can follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE, and I'm there too at Simon Miller 316. I'm Simon from WhatCulture. You've been watching the Y series, and at a recent WCPW event, I told Adam Blompier I would try and do an impression of him because he did an impression of me recently. Unfortunately, I can't do impressions, so I'm just going to go with it, and we're just going to see what happens. I'm Adam from WhatCulture, and here's how I would have booked the return of CM Punk. That's really bad.